What's good, everybody?
Yo,
we are back again. Another episode of the greatest damn sports show on earth, the No Hedging Podcast.
We're going to keep it 100 on here, man. You know what it is.
We're going to keep it a thou. I go by the name of Rip 16, the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my guy right here.
Ty the Jet, man. You know what it is. And not the Jets Jets.
Before we get into that, make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm still not seeing enough of those tickets.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button and hit us up with some slips, man.
I hope they've been paying attention.
And the reason why I want you to know these slips is you want to tell them the records from last week.
Oh man, last week we both of them 11-3 on our picks last week, man. 11-3. That's a good week.
It's a great damn week. Actually, no, I thought it was 13.
Oh, 13-3.
13-3.
My bad.
Don't cut me short.
13-3 on our picks last week, man. So we had, it was a good week for both of us.
It was a good week.
Those picks, especially during a holiday week, you never know what you're going to get.
Games was all over the place. They had 3 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, a couple on Sunday.
It was crazy. It was wild.
1 on Monday. It was
everywhere. Wild. So that puts us at what? I'm at what? 122.
You are at a total of 122-58 for the season.
Yeah, boy.
And I am at a total of 106-74 for the season.
Your boy Jet know how to pick them.
Hey, man. Well,
had a really good week too, man.
Good week, man. So,
and we'll get into that a little bit later on the best bet stuff.
You still won't send a slip. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. But with all that being said, we're going to jump right back in, man. Yeah. We hope y'all watched our segment Takeaways, to catch some knowledge, catch some free game that we giving to get you prepared for what we about to get into right now. And it's a little thing we like to call the rundown.
Let's go, man. What's the first game on the slate?
First game on the slate. Back to business as usual. One game on Thursday. TNF, we have the Seattle Seahawks as a heavy underdog against the Dallas Cowboys at home. The Cowboys are a 9-point favorite in this game at home right now. That line may shift some, but I don't know if it's going to shift much for Seattle.
No, it's not actually.
So I can tell you now, I'm not taking Seattle on the road against no Cowboys. Not right now.
Nah, and I'll go ahead and tell you my play on this one. Geno Smith is not playing well right now. That offense, he's injured, banged up elbow or arm or something like that.
He got some problems.
Kenneth Walker, I don't know his injury status just yet, hasn't came out yet, but if he's not going to play, they can't run the football. They can't put any pressure on Dallas. No. Dallas's defense, and especially Dallas being at home, they play lights out at home. I think they won the last 12 or 13 games at home. They like
beating up on teams that they're better than, especially when it's on a national,
big
stage broadcast. Yeah. They like to show out on
when the
TV.
Light is brightest on the sorry teams. They gonna show up. Yeah, so I mean, for me, I'm taking Dallas at home. Maybe they cover, maybe they don't, but the way that their defense has been playing,
I think
Deron Bland has been playing phenomenal. Leads the NFL in history of pick sixes.
The boy got more touchdowns by himself.
Yeah, than the Jets.
A few teams.
Yeah, so I'm taking Dallas at home to win this one. Yeah, it's an easy play for me. Dallas, they play really good at home. Dak is really comfortable at home, and I think this is like the 12th or 13th. They on a win streak at home of 12 straight wins or something like that. So I'm not going against the grain on that.
I'm not either. I'm taking Dallas on this one. Might even take the points. They've been covering these big spreads, even though they've been giving Dallas a gang of big spreads over the past maybe month and a half. They've been covering a lot of them joints.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
They've been covering a lot of them.
I'm going to stay away.
If you got a banged up quarterback on the other side, that might be a problem.
I'm going to stay away from it.
But
don't trust me.
I at least like Dallas to win.
Yeah.
For sure. So next game on the slate, getting into those good old December games, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a 5.5-point favorite at home in this game. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I like Pittsburgh at home. I'm going to go ahead and take them at home. I think obviously their defense is really good. Offensively, they've been running the ball more and more effectively. We just saw the Cardinals get ran over by the Rams. They got housed by the Rams really bad. With that being said, I don't think that's gonna spill over as much. I think they do some corrections. The Cardinals, they're a feisty team, a gritty team. They're gonna battle. They're gonna fight. Offensively, they can put up points. Pittsburgh hasn't really been consistent in scoring points like that, so I think the game is closer than what we think. But I do think Pittsburgh ends up winning this game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm a agree with you on that one. I think Pittsburgh has, been good at home. They've been a solid team. They play defense. They're starting to pull it together with some offense, after they got rid of Canada over there. So, the players like that. They wanted him gone, so Tomlin had to make a move. And Mike Tomlin, like I just said, so that's going to be a key factor. You do have to watch Kyler's speed in this game, but I do think that they're a team that can, kind of contain some of that, kind of contain James Conner on the runs a little bit. So I think they do enough in this game. 5.5 points is a weird number.
That is weird.
It's a weird number. I'll get back to y'all about those points.
Yeah, you're giving Pittsburgh damn near a touchdown, and they barely got a touchdown against the Bengals and Browning. So I don't know.
That I don't know. Pittsburgh like to keep people in it for 3 quarters.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So, I don't know about that point spread, but I do like them to win the game. Next game on the slate, we have the division leading Dirty Bird flying Atlanta Falcons, Saint Beatin. Atlanta Falcons. They are a 3-point favorite on the road against the Jets. This one is kind of interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's kind of interesting. It's a very, very interesting game here. We have the Falcons coming off of a huge win in the division. They definitely needed that. It's making them look very nice for a playoff spot. But the Jets defense has still been the Jets defense all season. So I'm not going to take that away from them because that's been the one consistent thing.
Yep.
That and not scoring touchdowns. And that's the other consistent thing about the Jets, which in this spot, that 99-yard pick did something. It didn't sit right in my spirit. I feel like it demoralized the team in such a way that I don't know if they're bouncing back. I don't know. The defense.
Atlanta.
I'm gonna take Atlanta, even though Atlanta has not been very good on the road. However, the problem is with the Jets. You already have a hard time scoring touchdowns. And then you added in a quarterback situation on top of that by bringing in this backup quarterback. The Falcons have been known to give up some shit over the top. However, Jesse Bates and a couple other guys in that secondary can make some timely situational football plays. And I think the defense does enough to that Jets offense to make some of those plays. I don't expect this to be just a blowout or nothing by the Falcons just because the Jets defense is so good, and Desmond Ridder is still going to throw a pick. And he's playing against a very good defense. So I think it's enough plays being made. I think if they utilize Bijan Robinson, if they utilize they really utilize all 3 backs against the Saints.
Yeah, they did.
They use Cordero Patterson very well. They use Bijan very well. And they brought in Tyler Algier, kind of fresh legs later in the game to kind of just ram and close it out. So I kind of like that formula they used in that game. So I'm going to take the Falcons to score enough points and make enough plays in this game. And I was impressed by the fact that they actually put up touchdowns. Youngway only had 1 field goal in that game. So fucking me on a prop parlay. But
yeah,
it's all
so I mean, there's a couple factors there. I don't like the Falcons on the road. The Jets don't have any offense to score any points.
Yeah.
They do have a great defense that plays with high energy, lights
defense
out.
scores some points.
That front four is ridiculous. It's a wreck. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be all over Ritter's ass. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, they are.
So this is going to be a game that is, like you said in the beginning, it's a little bit hard to call. I don't have too much faith in either team in this spot, but if I had to pick the team, I'm going to pick the team that scores points on the offensive side of the football, and that's going to be the Atlanta Falcons, even though I don't love them on the road. I'm taking the Falcons in this one to go ahead and win.
Did you just pick the Falcons 2 weeks in a row?
I did. Good spot for them.
God.
Good spot for them.
What is happening in the world?
I'm objective, man. This is all it is.
What is happening?
I'm doing this for the people, man. I'm taking my emotions out of it, and I'm picking the team that I think is going to win.
You're picking for the culture.
I'm picking for America. America, you're welcome.
We got people in Australia, too.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all down under.
My boy Tommy from Australia. What's up, my boy?
Hey, man. Next game on the slate, we have the Broncos country.
Another one.
Let's ride.
The hot Denver Broncos.
Very hot. Scorching. Versus the Houston Texans. Young CJ is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. And I got to tell you, that's a tough one.
It is.
3.5 against the Broncos defense that have been playing like that. What you got to say about Broncos country? You a Broncos fan at this point.
I mean, I like what they've been doing. I wouldn't say I'm a fan per se. I like what they've been doing on the defensive side of the football. I like what they've been doing. I would love for them to target Cortland Sutton a little bit more. I need Cortland to have about 8 targets a game at least. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I think, Houston, they had a chance to take the game against Jacksonville in overtime last week. They didn't get that. CJ and Tank Dell have been balling, okay? That offense has been playing lights
First half,
out.
Tank Dell. Second half, I don't know.
The Houston offense has been playing good, and you got C.J. Stroud in the game as your quarterback. You have an opportunity to win the game. Like, he almost got him in position to win the game. If he didn't take a sack in the end of that game, they would have probably been in position to make that field goal because the field goal actually hit the damn crossbar.
Hey, the kicker gave it all he could give, right? He put as much leg into that kick as he could put into it. He got it right down the middle, and it hit right in the middle of the damn bar. So,
yes. So I'm going to go ahead in this game right here. This is a tough one. I'm going to take the home team here. I think C.J. Stroud lights up the Denver defense. They throw the rock a little bit more. And like I said, if you put CJ in a position, if he has the ball last, and I trust CJ to put his team in position to win. I've seen it enough for him to do that. So I'm going to take the Houston Texans at home to win this game against Denver.
Okay.
I don't know if they cover, though.
He said, I don't know if they cover, though. I tell you for damn sure I don't like the spread. However, interestingly enough, I actually will pick the Broncos in this game.
Oh!
Actually, in this game, I will pick the Broncos.
Oh!
And the reason for picking the reason for picking the Broncos in this game is because
that flame going out this week.
He said that flame going out this week. CJ Stroud has been cooking, right? He's getting a lot of yards passing against some teams. My concern about CJ Stroud is the teams that he did it against. The Texans still had 300 yards passing by CJ Stroud in that game. 100 of it was from Nico Collins. But the Jaguars defense is not the Broncos defense. For one. And the other games he did it against the Cardinals. He did it against the Bengals. He did it against the Buccaneers. Now, when they played against the Panthers before that, CJ Stroud only had 140 yards passing.
Yeah, that was
and the Panthers' defense is actually pretty good. They've been holding a lot of offenses that have been dynamic to not that many points. Like, the defense of the Panthers has been a strong suit. So that tells me that when they go up against a tougher defense, they can kind of limit them in certain ways. Now, of course, there's some other factors, some injuries, some run game changes, and everything that happened, of course, during that time span. However, I think the Broncos' defense has been so consistent that they may be able to limit that and get C.J. Stroud under 300 yards passing this time, which he hadn't done in about a month. But I think he can get underneath that, and like I said, in takeaways, the Broncos' offense has actually been putting together some plays, and actually putting on some points. So, and it's not like the Texans. Trevor Lawrence went out there and put up 364 on that Texans defense. Travis Etienne, they held him in check pretty well. He had 20 carries. He only had 56 yards rushing. So they can hold a run in check pretty well. But Cortland Sutton, like you said, they got Jerry Jeudy involved. They got Mims, catching some plays here and there. I think they got enough offensive firepower and enough defense really to put the offense in a position to at least win this game. But even if push comes to shove, I definitely don't like 3.5. So definitely don't like 3.5.
Nah, I like plus 3.
So that's my take on that one, man.
Okay.
Next game on the slate, we have the Detroit Lions versus the New Orleans second place Aints. The Saints are a 4.5 point home dog in this game.
Mm-hmm.
What say you about that one?
Yeah, so we both know Detroit just got embarrassed on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The Saints,
even though they normally lose on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they normally lose it, but with the anticipation they being good and all that, you'd think they'll win, as they thought too.
Yeah, we all did.
Saints lost on the road against Atlanta, divisional game. Had some guys out. Don't know what the injury report is for the Saints coming up into this week. Detroit doesn't play that great on the road compared to they doing at home, but they are going to be playing inside of a dome, so that helps out too, right? So
yeah,
I'm gonna take Detroit to win this game. I don't trust the Saints to score any points offensively, especially in the red zone. From the 20s to the 20s, the Saints can move the rock, but once they get in that red zone, your worst enemy is Derek Carr and not being able to put the ball in the paint. So I like the Detroit Lions to win, bounce back week, and beat the Saints. I think they score more points offensively. That defense is something to watch out for. I think they need to tighten up on the defense a little bit. But if you still have those injuries to Olave and Michael Thomas and, a nicked up Shaheed, then I think the favor is in Detroit. Because I think Olave got a concussion, so he might not be playing next week.
Yeah, he's not going to be playing. That boy got out. He's out for at least a week. But let me ask you this. Do you think the Saints should be using Taysom Hill when they get into the 20 instead of Derek Carr?
Not consistently. I think they do. I think they do it the right way, but sometimes it's the play calls is sometimes a little weird. I don't trust it because when you inside the 20s, when Taysom Hill's in the game, it's run.
They don't have to use him to run.
Yeah, they don't have to, but that's his strongest skill set. That's his best skill set. You know what I'm saying? Him throwing the ball, nobody is concerned with him throwing the ball, especially in the red zone. So,
but they're concerned about him scrambling.
Yeah, but throwing the ball, if I know I don't trust him throwing it,
it's almost like a Lamar Jackson type setup, right? It's a lot of RPOs you can run with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should be utilizing more RPOs in the red zone if they have Taysom Hill in, because then he has the option to look for a pass, but then he also has the option to pull it down and take off running.
Yeah.
And I think you should be utilizing that more in the red zone when you have a player who can play quarterback, tight end, and running back.
Yeah.
You need to utilize his dynamic skill set inside of this short field, because obviously with Derek Carr in at quarterback and whatever weird plays y'all are calling, it's not fucking working.
Nah.
So you gotta open it up some if you want to. That's my last bit of good advice for the Aints for the season. So I hope somebody is watching over there. But I think that maybe helps them out, but I don't think it helps them in this game. I think the Detroit Lions are still going to win this game, and I think that Olave injury is a big one. Then you got Shaheed with an ankle. He's doing returns also, so that's a double whammy. I think the injuries and I think the bounce back between Detroit puts them in a position to win this game. Once again, it is a little bit of a weird point spread, but
I don't like it.
Detroit can win. Detroit can win that game by 6. Yeah. I can see it. I'm gonna take the Lions in that spot. Next game on the slate, we have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. Yep. This one is also an interesting matchup in my book. The Colts are 1.5 point favorite on the road against the Titans in this one. So once again, this is a tough one. But if I had to pick a side on this tough one, which I do because this is no hedging, I'm gonna run the Colts back.
Oh, double down on the Colts.
I'm gonna double down on the Colts. I ran them last week and they took care of business. Jonathan Taylor had a solid game. They made some rushing plays. They just make some plays happen. Yeah. Like when they need to make some plays happen. Pittman had 107 yards receiving, 10 receptions. Had him a great game. Minshew 250 passing. He only had 1 pick. And honestly, I don't see that much of a difference between what the Buccaneers could do versus what the Titans can do. With the exception of you got Derrick Henry, who had a good game last week, but they still won that game. And what's my boy name, the running back over there, and the Buccaneers, Rashad White. He had 100 yards rushing, and they still won that game because they were able to get 2 touchdowns out of Jonathan Taylor of rushing also. So I think they can put together enough offense. I think they still play enough inspired defense and situational football to win that game against the Tennessee Titans. I like what they can do on offense, and I think they do enough on defense to hold the Tennessee Titans in check that is up and down in terms of offensive production.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take the Titans at home. I like
a home dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Titans at home, man. Home dog. I just like Mike Vrabel at home as an underdog. You know what I'm saying? I think he covers the spread. I'm not talking about covering the spread, but that's part of it. I think he's a good underdog coach, especially at home. He got in a little dogfight with Carolina last week. Will Levis, I like Will Levis at home more comfortably. Yeah. Like you said, Derrick Henry, we're getting into November, December now. It's colder. So that run game is a little bit more effective. A lot of these dudes ain't trying to hit Derrick Henry like that. This is when Derrick Henry starts rolling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take the Titans at home to beat the Colts, to win this game. So I'm taking the Titans.
Derrick Henry has to have another good game for the Titans to win this one. I mean, he's very capable of it, so I don't think that's a bad pick.
Yeah, I like the Titans.
But I don't know. I like them Colts, man. But but yeah, I feel you. Next game on the slate, we have my Los Angeles Chargers versus the New England Patriots.
Why Brandon Staley ain't fired yet?
I guess he get in there and cuss him out. They asked him what shoe size
they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait till the end of the season, man.
They're gonna wait till the end of the season. They go. Yeah, at this point. But yeah, I will say this about Staley. He don't back down.
Nah.
He said,
don't ask me no questions.
Don't ask me no questions. What size shoe you wear? Your size. So because of that energy, man, I like the bravado.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
They on the road.
Take the Chargers. They on the road. They playing in Foxborough, but the Patriots cannot score points.
Nope.
Like, they have a quarterback issue if I've ever seen one. You swapping out your quarterback at halftime too many times for me in one season. The Chargers defense actually played better against the Ravens than I predicted them to play against the Ravens. They held up fairly decent. They held the Ravens to 20 points. Mind you, the Ravens are a number 1 rushing team, and Gus Edwards didn't even have 50 yards rushing that game. I don't think anybody except for maybe Lamar Jackson had. Justice might have been somewhere around there. I gotta look and see what his total
Keaton had
was.
50.
But they were limiting these guys, and this is the number 1 rushing team. So they held them to 20 points on the board. They held Lamar under 200 yards passing, and that's without Joey Bosa. So I do think that the offense still can put up points on the board, and the Patriots can't. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's just going to make the difference, who's going to score touchdowns and who's not.
In this game right here, I don't care if you're in Foxborough, any borough in Brooklyn.
Joe Burrow,
Foxborough, the 5 boroughs. The Patriots don't, like you said, they don't have a quarterback, man. They can't compete in this game offensively. They can't score enough points. I think the Chargers, they do enough offensively, throwing the ball. I mean, hell, Keenan Allen had 14 catches. You know what I'm saying? It went crazy. 14 catches. I think 16 targets, 14 catches. So they got too many weapons on the offensive side of the football. The offense is not a problem, but the defense is a problem. But when you're playing the New England Patriots offense that doesn't score points, the defense is probably going to win that battle, like you alluded to.
They don't have enough on offense.
All they have is run game.
All they have is run game, and like the Chargers have Khalil Mack.
Yeah, like you said, the Chargers did a good job against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens on the run game. So Chargers,
bolt up, man.
Yeah,
bolt up. We taking them on that. Oh yeah, and it was only Keaton Mitchell who had over 50. He had 64 yards rushing. So, hey, I'm okay with that. Next game on the slate, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Washington Commanders. The Miami Dolphins are a 9.5-point favorite on the road in Washington. Coach is going to be out there. He going to throw on some more off-whites. He going to have his ankles out, even though it's cold. He don't give a damn. He's going to call a lot of plays to take the top off on Washington, and Washington ain't going to be able to stop it. So with that being said, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this one on the road. I think it's going to be closer than what that's saying. Washington, they got embarrassed on Thanksgiving. So
Did they?
Yeah.
Everybody knew that.
Yeah, they got embarrassed, man. They got embarrassed.
That was a very predictable.
It was close at first, but then Dallas took off. So
that was a very predictable loss.
I'm going to take Miami to win this game handedly. That offense is just too powerful, too electric, too dynamic. Washington, their secondary is not as good, and Tyreek and Waddle going to get off.
Washington's secondary is the opposite of everything you just said about the Miami Dolphins offense. Yeah. So with that being said, we're taking the Dolphins. Looking for Tyreek to continue his quest for greatness, getting 2,000 yards in the season.
It's a good opportunity.
It's a great opportunity to get a nice chunk in this one.
Tyreek Hill over on yards.
I don't know what the yards are, but
whatever it is, over.
Next game on the slate, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are a 5-point favorite at home in this one. What say you about this?
Hey, man, I'm still rolling with bet against the Carolina Panthers. They only won one game this seson. It's probably going to
only failed you once.
Yeah, it's only going to – no, it actually –
they covered some spreads, though.
They it didn't fail me. Nah.
They covered some spreads.
Probably like 2. They beat Houston. That was the only team they won against. But, I'm taking Tampa Bay at home. They just lost to the Colts on the road. I think Tampa Bay plays a better game at home. Baker Mayfield, they made a mistake on 4th down that they weren't able to convert. That could have put them in position to win that game last week. But Baker Mayfield loves Mike Evans. That's his guy. Rashad White been catching the ball out of the backfield, been running a little bit better effectively. Yeah. The only concern I have about Tampa is that defense, with stopping the pass with teams that can pass. But this team is not one of them. So I'm taking Tampa Bay at home to win. The other thing is they fired their head coach. Frank Wright is fired from Carolina. Yeah. I don't know how that impacts the team. It can go one or two ways. They can play inspired or they can play uninspired. So I'm going to take the latter, the uninspired play.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Tampa Bay at home, man.
Yeah, I don't see enough going on in Carolina still.
They ain't showed nothing. They don't have no weapons, man. They don't have nothing.
Adam Thielen got 3 targets last game.
They don't
he
run the
had
ball
one reception
well.
for 2 yards, and he's your best offensive receiver.
Listen, they don't run the ball well. They don't throw the ball well. Offensively, what are you doing?
Nothing.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna take the Buccaneers in this spot. Carolina's defense has been pretty good, so I don't expect this to be a super high scoring game.
It's a divisional game, though.
It is a divisional game, and Tampa Bay. But I like Baker though. I do like Baker Mayfield just because he's
a competitor.
Fired out.
He's a competitor.
Like,
he competes.
He threw a pick. I saw something in him that last game. He threw a
tackle.
pick, and he was mad. Like he was on the bench and he was really looking like, nah, I gotta get that back. Like he was over there looking like he's still in it. So I like that about Baker when he manages the game pretty well, and if he does make a mistake, he's going to come out there and he's going to try to rectify his mistake. But he's not going to overpress it. You know, I think he's a pretty good manager in terms of that. So I do like Baker in this spot against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Next game on the slate, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite in this game. Now, this is also a pretty interesting one.
It is interesting.
It is a pretty interesting one. You said DTR took a shot.
He took a big shot.
Now,
Concuss, knocked him out.
He took
Lip
a big
bleeding and everything.
The boy went down bad.
He took a shot.
So who's even quarterbacking at this point?
PJ Walker. And this has been my concern all season, right? This has been what I've been talking about with the Cleveland Browns. They have a great defense, but their quarterback position has been a carousel.
But it's kind of the same thing.
It's
no matter who's in,
inconsistent. It's inconsistent at the quarterback position.
You don't know who's playing it, but it's been kind of the same production level out of whoever plays. So, even with Deshaun, you might get a little bit better with the passing, but I mean, honestly, it's not like he's been coming out there doing the most.
Yeah.
Maybe he had 2 good games where we was like, okay, Deshaun looked good this year, but other than that, did it make a difference?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams in this game right here, and simply because offensively they can put up points. Granted, they're playing a good defense, but if your offense, Cleveland, isn't able to score points and you consistently put your defense out there, there's gonna come a time where that bend is gonna eventually break, right? So, with the Rams playing how they played, especially last week, they got Kyron Williams back. They can run it. They can pass it. They got Matt Stafford back obviously a couple weeks ago. So I think they're getting more healthier as the season is progressing, and they got their guys, right? We all know the guys. So Tyler Higbee had 2 touchdowns last week. So with that being said, with Cleveland, they don't have a consistent quarterback that can mesh and gel with that offense to generate points, right? Amari Cooper got hurt this week. You know, that's their main weapon on the outside. And if your quarterback can't get him to rock 7 times a game, then that's where you're going to have deficiencies. So I'm taking the Rams at home to win this game, man.
Okay. I will say this. Just a historic number about the Browns.
Love Cleveland.
Actually, I'm not going Cleveland. I'm not going Cleveland in this game. And I'll tell you why.
Smart man.
Because the Broncos offense.
The Browns?
No, the Broncos offense is not as good as the Rams offense with Cooper, Puka, and Kyron, and Matthew Stafford. Mm-hmm. I think Matthew Stafford is a good manager, kind of, but he can sling it. Mm-hmm. You know, playing against an offense with weapons like that, they can kind of spread out the defense a little bit more than even the Broncos have, even though the Broncos have been very hot. So getting Kyron Williams back and Kyron cooking, I think makes them a lot better in this position, which is why I'll take the Rams on this one. Despite the Browns' defense being on a historic pace, like they're holding teams under 200 yards, and who else has done that? So they're on a historic pace this season. If they can keep it up, I believe the lowest was the 2000s Ravens defense, who held people under 2000 Ravens 245 yards. Right now, the Browns are at 200. Mm-hmm. So they are playing some phenomenal defense. However, the offensive issues. Njoku's catching some passes right now.
He dropping some too.
He dropping some passes.
Dropping touchdowns and everything. Yeah.
You got Jerome Ford, who's kind of been a consistent 60-something yard, maybe right around 60. He's been below in some other games. He's been below 50 yards in it. But it's just not enough offensive production to match what the Rams may be able to do in terms of offensive production. But I do think that defense keeps this not super high scoring. I was surprised that the Broncos were able to put up 29 points. But I think for that reason that the Rams will be able to put up enough points in this game. So I'm going to take the Rams, even though I do like my Brownies.
Yeah.
Next game on the slate, we have the San Francisco 49ers.
The game of the week.
Definitely the game of the week. San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now,
Eagles are
the
home
Eagles
dog.
are home dog in this game.
For
3
time this
points is the spread on this one, and the Eagles are a home dog. They pulled it off against the Chiefs.
Yeah, they did.
There was a home dog in that game. They pulled it off against the Chiefs. This 49ers team is a little bit different, and they can't be fucking around.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how great they played the last 2 weeks, they're not beating the 49ers this week.
You don't
not
think
a
so?
Healthy 49ers team. Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No, because...
So you think the 49ers is better than the Eagles?
Right now, as of today, I do. I think the 49ers are the healthier team. You know what I'm saying? They have all the offensive pieces. They have a very dynamic offense. Defensively, the Philadelphia Eagles can get had passing the ball. You can get the Philadelphia Eagles passing the ball. We've seen this over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? We've seen the Washington Commanders throw on them. The Commanders 2 times.
The Commanders will air it out, though.
We've seen
Sam Howell can air it out.
Yeah, but they didn't air it out against Dallas.
That's Dallas.
Yes, I'm saying. So, do you think Philadelphia's defense is better than Dallas?
Not in passing.
Okay. So, then you got, Buffalo just threw it on the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I think offensively,
they got Josh Allen.
I think offensively, when you have all these pieces, when Brock Purdy and the 49ers have all these pieces that are healthy, McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, offensively, they pretty much a very dynamic team that's hard to stop when they're healthy. And then defensively, bringing over Chase Young, that was very helpful to what they got going on.
that was the best offseason move.
One of the best plays. Yeah,
the best midseason moves.
Oh my God! Yeah.
All year.
I think after going to battle with the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks back to back, you be like, I don't think the Philadelphians could pull it off. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 49ers, man. I think the 49ers, they get real physical with them. It's going to be a legit dog fight, man. So I'm taking the 49ers to beat the Eagles, man.
I feel like
they squeak through these wins, man.
I feel like the 49ers got some bad blood with them.
They owe them one.
They owe them one.
Because they could have word around town if the quarterback didn't get injured last year in the playoffs. The 49ers would have been in the Super Bowl.
They think they could have got him.
I think they're going to get him.
They had McCaffrey at quarterback. They were depleted. Okay?
Right.
So I didn't forget that. That's why I said there's some bad blood in this game, because you had McCaffrey at quarterback. You were really down to your last option on that one. And McCaffrey was kind of hurt too. And I think while he was playing quarterback. So it's very hard to not pick the Eagles, though.
It is because of what they've been doing. They find
it's
ways
hard.
to win.
They keep getting into dogfights though. I felt like it's deja vu. How many times have we said the Eagles about to be in a dogfight?
At least 4 times this season.
And then they end up winning.
Yeah.
They only didn't win one time. Right?
To the Jets.
To the Jets. It's tough.
They've been to overtime twice.
I do like the healthy San Francisco 49ers. So I understand why they're the favorite. So I guess
49ers had more rest too.
Why you say that?
They haven't played. When the last time they played? They played.
What you mean when the last time they played? They just played.
When was that? They're gonna have more rest.
I don't think that makes that much of a difference, honestly.
Shit, it does when you're in that dogfight like they was just in.
I guess I'm a roll. Even though it's a very tough pick, I'm a roll with.
Yeah, they played Thursday.
I'm a roll with the 49ers.
Yeah, they had more rest. They played Thursday.
I'm going to roll with the 49ers on this one. It is a tough play. If somebody's going to beat the Eagles,
it got to be them.
It got to be them.
It got to be.
It just got to be them.
Yeah.
If the Eagles beat them, they're winning the Super Bowl. I'll say that. If the Eagles beat them and they stay healthy, they winning the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a big stretch for Philly, man. Tough stretch of games.
It's a tough stretch, but if they beat them, they're winning the Super Bowl. And I think that tough stretch of games also
I don't know though,
feeds
because
into
if they see each
the
other,
49ers.
because they see each other again,
they're gonna play each other
be like,
again.
nah, I want them.
They're gonna play each other again.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, but I'm gonna roll with the 49ers on that one. The Eagles might cover, but I'm gonna roll with the 49ers on that one. Next game on the slate. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. I think I am. Waiting all day for Sunday night. Mm-hmm. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers. Kansas City Chiefs are 6.5 point favorite in this game going into Lombardi Stadium. Lombardi Field. Lambeau, baby. But I don't think that makes much of a difference in this one. I think the Chiefs are still going to chief. Mm-hmm. I think what we saw last week, we saw them get a little bit more offensive production out of receiver, which is the main thing they need. They still got some drops. They still got a couple issues at that receiver. But I just don't think the Packers got enough firepower to really deal with what that Chiefs defense has been doing. I think Chris Jones is about to be on Jordan Love's head this game. Pause. Mm-hmm. He's going to be after him. He's going to be after the quarterback. He's going to be in the backfield. And that's going to speed up some plays. And I don't know if Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs get open as much as they did over these past couple weeks. Not against that defense.
No.
I do think the Packers have been playing better on both sides of the football, but I think the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're still very good. They still got some things they got to clean up if they want to make another Super Bowl run, but I like the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to let what I saw on Thanksgiving fool me. With the Packers.
That was against a cursed Detroit Lions team.
The Detroit Lions, they definitely are cursed on Thanksgiving, so that's probably not going to change for another couple years. But needless to say, the Detroit Lions, their defense was definitely is in question right now.
Yeah.
There's no question about the Chiefs' defense, right? No. We all know what Spags is about when Spags dial it up.
Spag is spanking shit.
Spags be dialing it up, all right? So I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this one. It's going to be a Sunday night football game, so it's probably going to be closer than what we all anticipated because that's just how these primetime games go.
Primetime unders, baby.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking the Chiefs. They find a way to
that point spread 42.
Yeah, the over and under.
Over under 42?
So I'm taking the Chiefs in this one, man. I think Spagnuolo and that defense is going to outplay. Obviously, is going to outplay the Packers defense, and is going to put pressure on Jordan Love. Jordan Love's going to make some mistakes, turn the football over. Chris Jones attacking him, getting sacks, like you said, on that tater. So I'm taking the Chiefs, man.
Jones on the tater. Take the Chiefs. Last game on the slate. For MNF, we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Jacksonville, fresh off a win, Jaguars. The Jags are a 8.5-point favorite in this game.
At home.
And they are at home.
In Duval.
What say you about the good old Jags out of Duval?
Listen, man. No Joe Burrow, no dub. That's all I gotta say. I don't care. I don't care who. If it ain't Joe Burrow behind the center,
no Burrow, no
the
dub.
Bengals ain't got a shot, man. The only thing that is carrying them is probably gonna be their defense, which is probably make the game closer than what it's supposed to be. But offensively, I don't think they have enough to make things happen. I mean, if they don't commit to running the football with Joe Mixon, then that's probably gonna be their downfall. The Jags, they're pretty good at stopping the run and slowing up the run up front, so I don't expect Joe Mixon to have a great game. Browning is going to be forced to pass the football. He start throwing the rock. Josh Allen and those guys going to get after him, and it's a wrap. So I'm taking the Jags at home on Monday Night Football to get that dub against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. No Burrow, no dub.
No Burrow, no dub.
Plus, the Jags have been good at home. They are very good at home. As we've seen them perform in home games, they do play a little bit better. Like you said, the strength of the Cincinnati Bengals at this point is the defense. However, even with Jamar Chase out there, Browning is not going to deliver that ball the same way that Joe Burrow can to make sure that Chase is open, to make sure he's hitting him in the right spot. So I think, the only hope they have at that is if Mixon, puts together a phenomenal game and opens it up some. Yeah. But I don't necessarily see that happen against the Jags. They do contain the run pretty decent. Like you said, Josh Allen, he gets after it. So rushing and he's going to be after the quarterback too. So I think that's going to just not go well for the Bengals in this one. We're going to take the Jags. Yep. That's a lot of points.
It is a lot.
I'm going to take the Jags.
It is a lot of points on Sunday night.
That's a lot of points. There's a lot of points for a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, Monday night. Not bad.
We just saw 22 get put up last Monday.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, man, that's all of the games.
That's the rundown,
slate, man. That's the rundown. But
hold on. Make sure you guys comment below on ones that you agree with and ones that you disagree with. We want to know who you following. We want to know what your plays are. We want to know what your picks are. And why we look stupid and why you're the genius, right? Let us know.
Let me know. I always like to know why I look stupid.
But yeah.
So with all that being said, man, we gotta tell them the best bets, man.
Yeah, it's time to get into the best bets, man.
Gotta get into
this is
it,
where
man.
This is where the value is had in this episode.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you're about to find out. Last week, I went 3-0 on my best bets. And so did you.
Both 3-0 last week. Gave you some good value there.
Yep.
Great value.
Pittsburgh cash, Chicago
Walmart.
cash, Tennessee cash. And for you, Pittsburgh, Dallas, and Philly, right? So last week was a sweep. Clean sweep, man. Crushed it. So 3-0 on our best bets last week. So if you aren't following our bets, then you might need to start following them from this point on, because we are having a good season with our best bets.
Having a time, brother. Having a time.
So with that being said, let me go ahead and get into my best bets of the week. So my first one, this week has been a little shaky because I don't like the numbers on a lot of these games, but we're going to try to make something do what it do. All right.
Don't make it do what it do.
So my first one, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to cover in New Orleans on the road.
Hey,
that's a tough one. I don't like the number.
I like when you believe the Saints gonna lose.
I don't like the number, but I do think Detroit bounces back after that Thanksgiving loss. They lost terribly. I think they protect the football a little bit more. I don't think the Saints are going to be
probably going to be out.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints are going to be 100% healthy. The Saints have a problem with scoring in the red zone, and with all of that being said, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at -4 or 4.5 or whatever your book has it at. I got it at, it's at 4.5. All right, that's my first one. My next one, all right, I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers over the Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh. If you can get it at -2.5, that's the play.
Yeah.
If you can get it at -2.5, that's the play.
Get it underneath a field goal. Either that or
buy it down if you want to. Buy it down if you want to. But either way, I do think the San Francisco 49ers will win that game.
I might even like the Eagles at 3.5.
You know, I think the 49ers, they're a healthier team. They had a little bit more rest. They played on Thanksgiving. They going into, playing the Philadelphia Eagles that's been getting in these dog fights. I think the bigger dog are the 49ers. They're more physical. They run the football very well. They can throw the football very well. The Eagles defense can be had. It's going to be close. But I think the 49ers end up winning and covering. So I'm taking the 49ers I got them at -2.5 or -3.
I'm with you, brother.
All right. And then my last one.
What you got?
My last one. I'm going to change it up on y'all.
What you got there, son?
I'm going to change it up on y'all. I'm going to go with the under in the Colts and the Titans game.
Oh, you going over and under on me.
I'm going to go to under in the Colts and the Titans game.
42.5?
42.
What you got in your book?
My book is.
I know you like the.
My book is like 43.
43.
Mine is 43.
We're gonna give him 43. Under 43.
Under 43.
Okay.
And here's why. Head to head, when these teams play, remember these are division games.
Mm-hmm.
This is a division game.
Mm-hmm.
When these teams play, the last 5 meetings, the under hit 4 out of 5 times.
Okay. I can see it.
The under hit 4 out of 5 times. So give me the under in the Indianapolis Colts at the Titans at 43.
They're kind of like it's kind of like a mirror match a little bit. So I'm with you. I like that pick. It's a slick one. It's a slick one.
So my best bets this week, San Francisco -3, the under in the Tennessee and Colts game, and then the Detroit Lions -4. Those are my best bets this week.
All right. Getting into my best bets.
What you got?
Week. I gotta also throw one of those in there because I believe in it also. I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions against the Saints. It's one of my best bets also. I feel like the Saints are too banged up on offense to get enough production, and the Falcons just prove that you can run against the Saints successfully. And you're going against the Detroit Lions that's been getting very good production out of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And I feel like even with Goff being a little bit off, I think that the run game definitely balances it out. Desmond Ridder went out there and had 2 picks and they still won. So I do think it's enough offensive firepower. Amon-Ra St. Brown cooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take the Detroit Lions as one of my picks. Another one of my picks, I'm going to take big point spread, but actually the Dolphins.
Oh.
I'm going to take the Dolphins over the Commanders. It's 9.5. It's 9.5. However, one thing the Dolphins do is they score points.
They do.
And one thing Washington doesn't do is play defense in the secondary.
They don't.
And that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Mostert can still rush, and A-Chain is getting healthier. So with all that being said, I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover that point spread. I am heavily contemplating Dallas covering that point spread on that last.
But what's your best bet?
I am floating somewhere. It's hard for me to trust my Chargers. Especially on a point spread.
Hell no.
He said, hell no.
I'm off them. I took them as an underdog, and they still didn't cover.
I don't like the Chiefs to cover that. You know what? Give me Dallas. Give me that Dallas. Going heavy. Give me Dallas on that point spread. I kind of like the Chiefs. I was contemplating the Chiefs. That's what I was sitting here meditating on. But the Chiefs and point spreads can get a little murky sometimes. Mm-hmm. Not going to hold you. I still think they win, but I don't know about that point spread.
Dallas is at what, 8.5 or 9?
9 piece. So give me Dallas. So my 3 picks are Dallas Cowboys at 9, Detroit Lions at 4.5, and the Miami Dolphins at 9.5. Couple big point spreads, but they beat people. When they beat them, they beat the shit out of them. So
yeah.
So I'll take those guys.
Okay, cool. So y'all heard it here. We went 3-0, clean sweep last week. So I hope you guys are following.
But it's always a little bit more value in there because he never puts the dog up.
Nope.
Never puts him up.
Because them boys were barking last week. You know what time it is. It's time for the dog of the week. You know what I mean? Last week, your boy cashed on the dog. If you was watching the episode, you would have known.
Picked a good dog.
The New York Giants covered, man. Underdog, home underdog. And everybody, if you've been watching
against the Patriots.
And if you've been watching the episodes, you've been watching the show, you guys know I love me a nice home underdog. So this week, I'm coming back to you with another nice home underdog. This week, my underdog of the week is going to be the Tennessee Titans at home as a home dog versus the Indianapolis Colts, man. Colts going on the road. Tennessee's at home coming off of a win. Both teams coming off of a win. But I think the Tennessee Titans, they run the ball very well at home. They stay physical and punish the Indianapolis Colts so they don't make any tackles. Derrick Henry's gonna have a great game, and that's what I'm anticipating because he plays very good in the months of November and December. So I am taking the Tennessee Titans at home as my underdog of the week, man. Book it, go to the window, lock it down. I'm telling you now. Who you got?
Oh man, I really wish the Eagles are at 3.5, but since I can't get the Eagles,
it's straight money line though. Underdog is straight money line. I need them to win. I don't care what the line is.
You've been doing some spreads though.
Not on the underdog. No, not the dog of the week.
Okay,
dog of the week, man. Straight money line.
Straight money lines. Dog. Looking at it, might be a little scary, but Broncos country.
Oh, that's a good one.
Let's ride.
That's a good one.
Broncos country. We're going to ride with you on this
bad.
one. We're going to ride with you. I hope you stay hot because it is hot in Texas most of the time, but we're going to hope you stay hot.
Yeah, hope so.
So, yeah, man, you heard our picks. I'm taking the Broncos in this one because they've been so hot and they play some defense.
Yeah.
And that's been very consistent. I like the consistency of the defensive side. And the offense been stepping that game up. You know, they balance it out. They don't get a ton of yards, but they don't necessarily need them. They just need to play some good defense and
control the ball.
Guys, control the ball, control the clock, and you can control that dub going up at the end of the game. So
not bad. I like it, man. Well, yeah, you guys heard it here first. You got the rundown, the best bets, and the dog of the week. Yep. If you guys want to make some cash like we did last week, make sure you follow, like, share, comment, subscribe. We want to hear what your best bets are for week 13.
Yes,
we want to know who's your underdog of the week. So make sure you comment below. And if it's something good, then we might feature on the next episode.
Man, I love a good stat. You got a good stat against one of these matchups that I'm missing, or a good under in a matchup that I missed? Let me know.
Yeah, where the smart guys at?
Comment.
Where the smart guys at?
Where's my statisticians at?
You know what I'm saying?
Stats no more?
Nah, it's just all emotion nowadays. But until next time, man, we appreciate you guys for watching. Week 13 is on the way. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.